Hello, everyone. We are finally here. Magical Mystery Cure. I told you I would get all these videos done, and here I am, finishing the last one up before Season 4, which premieres next weekend. Dear God, I am so excited for it. It's going to be such a big thing for me. I'm going to be watching it with two of my best friends who are coming over, because they don't have as good TVs as I do. So we're going to be watching Season 4, and then we're going to watch Doctor Who, because that's also coming on. But Season 4, so excited. I already know what the title of the episode is going to be. I'm not going to say anything, because spoilers suck for everyone. But I know everyone is so happy, because, we have 1 week. 1 more week, less than 7 days. I can see it on my calendar. MLP Season 4 premieres on Saturday. And today's a Sunday. So I guess the last thing I have to do is review the Season 3 finale, a.k.a. Magical Mystery Cure, a.k.a. Alicorn Day. That was a cop-out. They shouldn't have done all of those commercials saying that the episode was going to be like Coronation Day and stuff. Come on. Half of the episode wasn't about that, and it wasn't even titled anything similar. They should have done something. No, they shouldn't have done such a campaign. If they hadn't done such a campaign, maybe people would have been a little bit happier and a little bit more surprised. Okay, so let's get started. I have to say the first thing I need to discuss is the music. It's all over the place. But, compared to other people, I love all of these songs, except for Behold, Princess Twilight Sparkle. Dear God, that song will give you nightmares. All the other songs, though, Celestia's Ballad, True True Friend, What My Cutie Mark Is Telling Me, Twilight's sad song, I can't remember the name of it. I think it's like Oh Why or something like that. And then, Morning in Ponyville and Life in Equestria, those are all very good songs. I love all of them. Personally, my favorite out of all of them has to be True True Friend. It's one of the best. It's just so good. I love it. I love it a lot. Oh yeah, I meant to say this, but for those of you who happen to be insanely behind and somehow haven't gotten here yet, which is like one person somewhere in the world, just bow out of this video now, because I'm going to be discussing so much about this episode. Because, as well, like I said, it says review and analysis. I am planning on doing a lot of talking about the ins and outs of how this episode could have been better, and why it is great in the first place. So, I'm one of those people that likes this episode a lot. There's people who do, yes, but not a lot. It's everyone's either I love it, I hate it, or I honestly just don't care, and Season 4 is kind of indifferent to me. Those people, I don't know any of them, but, I like this episode. Alicorn Twilight, I'm okay with Alicorn Twilight, but there's so much about this episode that could have been done better. For one, I think this episode should have been a two-parter. I know why they had Season 3 be only 13 episodes. It was because of the 65 episode number. So that's why. But, couldn't they have, gotten rid of something somewhere? I don't know. Maybe they could have gotten rid of Spike at Your Service, and we could have had Magical Mystery Cure be a two-parter. That would have been great if they had gotten rid of Spike at Your Service and just made Magical Mystery Cure a two-parter. We deserved a two-parter ending for this. We honestly did. Okay, so starting off, of course, we start off with the song Morning in Ponyville, which is a good song. Twilight's singing all on her own, and it rudely gets interrupted when someone dumps water all over Twilight. So now she's all wet. Of course, she assumes this is Rainbow Dash because of her trickster nature, but as it turns out, Rarity is controlling all of the clouds in the sky and has Rainbow Dash's cutie mark, which is really, really, really weird. And Twilight realizes, yeah, no, today is not going to be a good day. It's not a good day for anyone. So as we head to the second song, What My Cutie Mark Is Telling Me, we find out that the rest of the main six, not including Twilight, have all switched cutie marks. Rarity has Rainbow Dash has Fluttershy has Pinkie Pie has Applejack, and Applejack has Rarity, which, honestly, yay. That I was able to actually say all of that. So as we go into the end of the song, Twilight tells Spike that apparently while he was taking another 7-hour bubble bath, dear God, Spike, why do you need to clean yourself for that long? A mail pony came and gave her a letter from Celestia, which is weird considering usually Spike gets letters from Celestia. Why on earth did Celestia send this in the mail when Spike would usually be getting the letters? Maybe she could tell that he was having one of his 7-hour bubble baths and sent it in the mail instead. I mean, honestly, I don't think she wanted the stuff to get wet, and the decrease in water supply would have been an obvious point to him having a bubble bath. So as Twilight reads the letter, we find out that the book she's gotten from Celestia is Star Swirl the Bearded's personal magic journal. Now, I love how they did this. They could have built it up more, but if everyone looks at the book closely, you can tell it's the book that Princess Luna held up at the end of the Crystal Empire, Part 2. And everyone who was paying attention during that episode would have noticed the book, and they would have been like, wonder what that has to do with anything. Season 3 finale. Hey, it's that book! What is that book for? So Twilight casts the spell on the last page, which happens to be the uncompleted spell of Star Swirl the Bearded himself. Well, I don't even know how this spell even works. I mean, I can assume that it did that to the Elements of Harmony because of the fact that Twilight was connected to the Elements of Harmony, and the spell cast itself through the Elements of Harmony and onto the other ones. I mean, just like the spell itself is really, really, really confusing. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I would love to be able to get it, but every single time I try and listen to someone else's explanation of it, I get very confused. I'm just like, and in my head I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I honestly don't get it. So after the mysterious spell gets cast, we find out that the Elements of Harmony colors have been switched so that the main five, not Twilight, so that the main characters, not Twilight, all have their cutie marks switched up. Of course, this causes a ton of problems because apparently their destinies have been altered. Okay, so this is something that has been brought up so many times. The word destiny as used in this episode. I believe that I watched a video a while ago with Brony Curious talking about how destiny was used a little bit differently than the actual definition of destiny. I think when they say destiny, they don't mean it's like an all-powerful force that is raining down upon them. Like, when I think of destiny for this episode, I think of how the main five spend their daily lives and how their personality and their character and their everything, how that affects their lives, and then what happened in Magical Mystery Cure was that their cutie marks were switched, and then their daily lives, their very thoughts of how they conduct themselves and their personality was, well, not their personality, but their very thoughts of how they conduct themselves were mixed all up. I mean, they all still have the exact same abilities, even when their cutie marks are switched. But the thing is, they didn't know that. They thought that they had all these other abilities that weren't actually theirs. And they remember being able to do them so well. And all of a sudden, they can't. I mean, I think the Brony Curious states it best in his talk about destiny as used in Magical Mystery Cure video. I can't remember if that's the exact title, but it's very similar to that. He talks about the element of destiny in this episode, and he really explains it best. So if you want to see what my thoughts are about Destiny in this episode, go check out his video. He goes by Tommy Oliver now, but I still consider him to be Burning Curious. And it says so at the beginning of the video. It says Burning Curious, so, I mean, come on. Okay, so after Twilight has her mope song, which is honestly, they use Shadow so well. You conveyed so many emotions from the shadow that was used in each scene. Twilight realizes that maybe if she can't help her friends remember who they are, maybe they can help each other remember who they are. Which is a great concept because, I mean, yes, you are their friend, but they're also friends with each other. They know how their friends are and how they act and how to help them. And by relearning that power of friendship and giving that all to their friends, we see not only do their friends realize how important and special that their friends are and regaining their true talent and regaining their true memories, we see that Twilight has really grown since the beginning of the series. She understands friendship so much more than she did near the beginning. It was something that you honestly couldn't tell at the beginning, was that she was a loner. I mean, she had Spike, but there was no one else. And, I mean, well, except for her brother, I guess. But she was all alone. She didn't like making friends. She thought it was pointless. But we see here during True Friend that she understands friendship so much more now. And she understands that not only is friendship something that you give to others, it's what others give to you. Which is definitely just great. Just go Twilight. Just go Twilight all over the place. Hooray for you. You understand the magic of friendship so thoroughly. So after Twilight saves all of her friends' memories, destinies, from the horribleness that is other people's destinies, they have the big group song and they have a big group hug. And then we see the spark. Now I know that I've never seen anyone talk about this. I have never seen anyone talking about this. But right at the end of True Friend, when they're all snuggling and hugging together, Twilight overhears herself speaking Star Swirl's spell in her head. And opens her eyes, and you see a spark. Now, if you've been paying attention throughout this entire series like I have, you would see that spark in her eyes so many times. I mean, you see it in her eyes. And near the end of the second episode in this entire show, you see that spark of friendship in her eyes. It's the spark of friendship. You see it. You see it right there. Like, she opens her eyes and realizes that all her friends are coming to find her when she's up against Nightmare Moon. And then you see it. That little spark. That spark of friendship was in her the entire time. She is the spark. She literally created this friendship. I mean, without her, I doubt that they would even be that close of friends. I mean, what happened in Equestria Girls, which I'll get to later. But that spark was in her eyes. It was right there. You could see it. And in Magical Mystery Cure, you see it again. It's that spark. Twilight Sparkle is the spark. Her name is Sparkle, for crying out loud. She's the spark. I mean, have you even noticed her cutie mark? Her cutie mark is one 6-pointed star with 5 little sparks around it. The big 6-pointed star represents her. Those 5 little sparks represent her friends. The friends that she was always going to make. I believe that Twilight's cutie mark, while it came at the same time as everyone else's, represented not just her skill for magic, but that spark. I'm thinking that maybe all this magical potential that Twilight has is this spark, this magical friendship spark that she has possessed inside of herself. I think that's what that is. Okay, that was impressive. I got all that out. I really wanted to get that out. It seems like no one's paying attention with that spark. I've seen it. I'm just like, that spark! What is the spark? It's a thing! Why can't anyone talk about it? So, as Twilight completes Star Swirl's spell, giving it the ultimate period, we see the Elements of Harmony shooting lasers at her, and there's a circle, and Twilight looks content with it, and then she disappears, and there's a spot on the ground that is in the shape of her cutie mark. People, you need to pay attention to these things. Well, Twilight suddenly comes across the ethereal plane, where Princess Celestia makes herself known and sings a song. Yay! The first Celestia song ever. So great! Go Celestia! You sang and it was brilliant. I loved her voice is just beautiful. Celestia's Ballad is a great song. It's so moving. I think I practically cried tears of joy when I heard it the first time. So the next thing I'm going to address about this is when, the initial transformation happens. Twilight is standing there, and then all of a sudden a little pink blob comes from her chest and starts to circulate around her. I mean, what is that thing? I guess maybe, that's her wings or something? I had a thought during the last time I watched this episode, which was maybe about 20 minutes ago, but maybe something is going on where, all ponies have the potential to be alicorns, and only by an alicorn herself or something, you can take that potential and put it on there or something. I think that's stupid, but, what is that thing? It's her wings, I guess, but why is it circulating, and why is it in her skin, and what? Did the same thing happen when Cadance became an alicorn? Because, that would make some sense. Because, it's stated before that, yes, Cadance was a Pegasus who became an alicorn by understanding the power of love, which was stated in the Crystal Heart spell. So, did the same thing happen except, the pink blob came from Cadance's forehead? Maybe it wasn't even pink. Maybe it was, blue, considering her magic's blue. I'm pretty sure the color of the blob from Twilight was the same color as her magic, so I would imagine maybe it was blue. All of a sudden, Cadance gets a horn. I don't know. So, we get a big, fat, flashy light show. Twilight's cutie mark appears in the sky and floats down to Earth, where everyone sees Twilight with her new wings that look different from everyone else's wings. Yay. These wings. Why they gotta be different? Well, actually, I think it's better that they're different. If they looked the same, it'd probably be really weird. Okay. So, then we get the worst song in this entire episode. Probably even the entire series, honestly. God, I hate that song. I hate Behold Princess Twilight is so horrible. And it's sung by Fluttershy clones. Dear God, it's like someone cloned Fluttershy and put them there. That's really creepy. Why couldn't they have used a different hairstyle, please? It would have been better if they just used a different hairstyle. God, why? Why? How dare they? Okay. So we get a reprise of the earlier song, now saying Life in Equestria shimmers, which is great, because Equestria is great. And then we get a sort of Matrix ending. Twilight flies straight towards the camera and says, everything will be fine. And that is the end of Season 3. Hooray! Okay, I didn't say this, but what Celestia said after Twilight came down was great. She's like, you're a princess, and you're an inspiration to all of us. Then Celestia bowed. It's like the student became the master. Celestia bowed to her student. That was as inspirational speech. Inspirational all over the place. I love it. It's just good. It's good speech. I want to hear Celestia say it all the time. Something like that just motivates you. And I think it made Twilight feel very, very loved at the moment. Okay. So Season 3 ended months ago. Dear God. Around the time I started watching this show was around the time that Season 3 came on. So, I was pretty far behind. I didn't watch Magical Mystery Cure until around June, I think. Maybe, I don't remember when it was. But I know for a fact that I was still watching season 2 when season 3 was coming on, because I used Netflix, and season 3 wasn't on there until a little while later. I think I kind of watched some of the episodes out of order, too. This show, I didn't even watch all the episodes in order in the first place. Like, as soon as Griffin the Brush-Off showed up on my Netflix screen as the next episode, I went all the way to Cutie Mark Chronicles, and I didn't look back. Okay. Season 3 ended. But next week is season 4. Hooray! Oh, I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else I need to talk about this episode? I honestly don't think there is. This review was a lot short. Oh, wait. Yes, there is. I want to talk about what could this episode have done better. Like I said earlier, this episode would have been so much better if it was a two-parter. It deserved 2 parts. And I agree on what Voice of Reason and ANY Pony said about how this episode should have been split into 2 parts. The actual magical mystery cure, and then Twilight becoming a princess. Like, we would have ended on Twilight disappearing into the void and come back on the second part of the episode with Twilight showing up in the void. It would have made so much sense. We would have had so much more time to flesh out Twilight becoming a princess. We would have had so much more time to flesh out the entirety of this cure of this magical thing that was happening to the main 5. I mean, it would have made so much sense if they made this a 2-parter. Why couldn't they have just not made Spike at Your Service and then made this a 2-parter? And yes, I keep saying Spike at Your Service because honestly, it's the one episode I feel that this entire series could have just gone without. I mean, some other episodes, yes, but this one from season 3, Spike at Your Service is the one episode we could have gone without. I mean, I know people would probably say Games Ponies Play, but just for Sidekicks and Games Ponies Play were put together. So if we took out Games Ponies Play, it wouldn't have been as fun. And plus we have the element of the Equestria Games, which I know is going to be addressed in season 4, and that's going to be cool. So just get rid of Spike at Your Service, make this a 2-parter. That would have been so great. Okay. Magical Mystery Cure. Could have been better. It could have been better. I love it. It's still a great episode, but it just could have been better. I guess that's all I really have to say about this. So, this is Phantom Rose 15. And I will be coming back next weekend. Hopefully, unless I will make sure to do this next weekend. Yes. I'll be coming back next weekend to talk about the season 4 premiere. And I want to see so many videos out next week from every pony reviewer I am subscribed to. So I want to see something from Digi, I want to see something from Brony Curious, something from ANY Pony, I want to see something from Voice of Reason, I would love to see some blind commentaries from Soundspeed and Cobalt Sky, I want some stuff from Ink Bros, maybe, well, probably not, well, maybe, I want to see something from I Love Kim Possible a lot, I want to see something from other people. It'd be really nice if I could get some Season 4 talking about, because, I mean, Season 4 is coming back. So that means there will be more videos from people like them who are doing pony stuff. Hooray! More videos from me. And everyone will be so happy. Alright. This is Phantom Rose 15, signing off. And I'll see you next week when I talk about Season 4.